Hi, my name is Michael Hollands, and I am the founding attorney here at Hollands Bankruptcy Law Office, where we practice bankruptcy law. And today I would like to talk to you about, or talk on the topic, Chapter 7 versus Chapter 13, which is best for you and your situation. But first, if you'd like any information on bankruptcy, please head over to hollandsbankruptcy.com, where you can get a lot of good information. You can also set an appointment to speak with a licensed bankruptcy attorney, such as myself, attorney Michael Hollands. Or you can give us a call at our toll-free number, 866-862-4557, or at any of the local numbers listed below. Now, on to the topic, Chapter 7 versus Chapter 13, which is really more advisable for your situation. But I do have one caveat before I get into into the topic. I would like to say to the Tennessee State University Tigers, congratulations, Big Blue, on your win yesterday for homecoming, 20-13, impressive football win. Keep it moving forward. It was a wonderful game. You all did a great job. Now on to the topic, Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. Now, Chapter 7, that is the bankruptcy that you hear me talk about a lot if you watch my videos, and I often call it a fresh start. More recently, I've been calling it the Thanosnap, that allows you to get rid of debt and move forward in your life after the process is done. Whereas Chapter 13 has its own form of a Thanosnap and does allow you to remove debt in its own way. However, it is more of a consolidation of debt, so that you are making payments through the court or through the trustee that allows you to save your assets, reduce loan payments, still get rid of some debt, and get caught up on some assets that you like to keep. So there are some unique things to Chapter 13 that Chapter 7 doesn't have, and vice versa. Now, specifically talking about Chapter 7, it is probably the way you want to go if your debt is primarily unsecured debt. And by unsecured debt, I mean debt that is dischargeable. Typically, those debts are credit card debts. If you have high medical bills, loans, payday loans, personal loans, taxes over 3 years, where taxes have been filed timely, these are all things that can be discharged in a Chapter 7. So that might be a best solution for you. If you have little or no non-exempt property, meaning that there's property such as high ticket item properties that we can't exempt, a lot of equity in a home or a lot of equity within a bank account of some sort, then we would probably look at something else. But if you have very little of that or no home with equity, then Chapter 7 is perfect. If you are not behind on an asset that you'd like to keep, such as a house payment or car payment, Chapter 7 is a great resource as well. And also, if you income qualify, Chapter 7 has an income qualification that you have to make income underneath a threshold. If your income is below that threshold, then you qualify for Chapter 7 and you are entitled to that fresh start that you always hear me talk about. Now let's talk about Chapter 13. Chapter 13 is probably your best option if your income is not below that Chapter 7 threshold. Then Chapter 13 is what we would be looking at for you to help you to relieve yourself of the debt burden that you have. If you have non-dischargeable debts, now there are some debts that just cannot be discharged in bankruptcy, and if you are behind on those debts, then Chapter 13 will allow you to get caught up. These are things such as alimony or child support or taxes within the last 3 years, and the fines and penalties associated with those taxes, student loans. These are all things that bankruptcy will not address, but Chapter 13 will allow you to put them in a plan so that you can have a recommended payment, a reasonable payment to get caught up on these things. If you have high ticket assets that cannot 100% be exempt, such as if you have a lot of equity in a home I mentioned earlier, or a lot of assets in a bank account or something along those lines, then Chapter 13 would be the way to go for you as well. And again, we talked about curing a mortgage or a loan a defaulted car loan. Chapter 13 allows you time to get caught up on those assets while you actually keep them. So you can keep the home, keep the car, even though you've defaulted on it, or you're behind on it, or it's about to be foreclosed or repossessed. This will allow you to hold on to those assets and still make payments so that you can get caught up reasonably. Chapter 13 is wonderful for that. So these are the two things that when you call to make your appointment with me, we go through these to see which solution, if either solution, is the best for you. Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. Well, I hope that this was helpful. I hope the information, is something that you can use and you find good utility in. If that's the case, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, also share it. You never know who you know that may need this information. Again, my name is Attorney Michael Hollands. Thank you for listening, and please be safe.